Imagine walking into a room and instantly people notice you. Some listen to you more carefully. Some feel drawn toward your presence. Some even follow your suggestions without resistance. What if I told you that many thinkers believed this ability could be trained deliberately? Over a century ago, writers studying psychology and influence described something called personal magnetism, a powerful mental and emotional presence that affects others. One particular technique that stands out because of how intense and direct it is, it's called the direct flash. According to this idea, a person can send a focused mental command backed by strong willpower, projecting confidence and intention so strongly that it affects the behavior and reactions of others. Now, whether you believe in the mystical side of it or not, the psychological principles behind it are fascinating. Let's get into the video where you'll understand one of the most unusual influence techniques ever described. Let's begin. Before understanding the direct flash, we need to understand the foundation behind it. The idea of personal magnetism comes from the belief that every person carries a certain mental and emotional energy. This energy shows up in things like confidence, body language, eye contact, tone of voice, and emotional conviction. Think about someone who naturally commands attention. When they speak, people listen. When they give directions, others follow. They may not even try very hard, yet they influence everyone around them. According to early writers on psychology and influence, this happens because their mental and physical energy align in one direction. They believe in what they say, and that belief radiates outward. This combination creates a kind of psychological pressure on others. People feel it, and they respond to it. Now, most influence happens gradually, but the method described in this video is very different. It's intense, direct, and deliberate. This is where we encounter the concept of the direct flash. The direct flash is described as a sudden projection of mental force toward another person. Imagine the difference between a steady flow of electricity and a sudden electric spark. The steady current spreads slowly, but the spark hits instantly. The direct flash works the same way. Instead of gently influencing someone over time, the person sends a strong, focused mental command. According to the theory, 3 things must happen. First, you create a clear mental command. This command is not vague. It must be precise and intentional. For example, look at me. Come here. You agree with my idea. Second, you combine 2 types of energy, mental force and physical presence. That means your thoughts, your posture, your eyes, and your confidence all point in one direction. And third, you release the command with your willpower. This is what they call the flash. It's a moment where the command is projected outward with full conviction, not hesitation, not uncertainty, but pure intent. And according to the theory, the stronger the conviction, the stronger the influence. But there's a problem. Most people cannot generate that level of mental command naturally, which is why the training begins in a very unusual way, in front of a mirror. Before attempting to influence other people, the method recommends something surprising. Practice with your own reflection. Yes, literally stand in front of a mirror. The reason is psychological. Most people feel awkward giving commands. They hesitate, they doubt themselves, and that hesitation weakens influence. So the mirror exercise trains the mind to project confidence and authority. Here's how the exercise works. Stand in front of a mirror and look directly into your own eyes. But instead of seeing yourself, imagine another person standing there, someone you are trying to influence. Then send a simple command. The first command suggested is, I am stronger than you. But this is important. You are not supposed to simply say the words. You must will them. Think about how you move your hand. When you decide to lift it, you don't wonder if it will happen. You simply will it to move. The exercise requires that type of mental command. You must believe the statement while sending it. not as a request, but as a fact. The idea is that the brain gradually learns to associate eye contact and intention with authority. At first, it may feel strange, but over time, the mind becomes more comfortable projecting commands, and that leads to the second stage of the exercise. Once the first exercise becomes easy, the next step is stronger. The command becomes, "I can command you to act." This statement carries a deeper psychological effect because now the mind is not just claiming strength, it is claiming authority. But here's the key idea from the text. For influence to work on others, you must remove doubt inside your own mind first. If your mind resists the command, the projection weakens, the will becomes divided. It's like trying to push something forward while pulling it backward at the same time. That's why the mirror practice is repeated again and again, not to fool others, but to train your own belief system. Once the belief becomes natural, the will flows easily and the command feels effortless. According to the method, this is when true personal magnetism begins to develop, because conviction becomes visible in your eyes, voice, and posture, and people instinctively respond to conviction. After mastering the basic exercises, expand practicing. Instead of repeating only one command, you begin practicing many types. Each command represents a different social situation. For example, look at me, give me your attention, come this way, go away from me, you like me, you want to help me, you will agree with my idea. These statements might sound intense, but the purpose is not manipulation. The real purpose is training mental certainty. The brain learns how to deliver ideas without hesitation. Think about the difference between these two sentences. Maybe you could help me versus I need your help with this. The second one carries much more psychological weight. Why? Because the speaker sounds certain, and certainty creates influence. The mirror practice helps build that certainty internally before expressing it externally. The most important lesson from this entire method is something simple. Influence begins with belief. If you don't believe your own words, other people won't either. Your tone will reveal hesitation, your body language will weaken, your eyes will avoid direct contact. But when belief is strong, your communication changes completely. Your voice becomes steady, your posture becomes confident, your gaze becomes direct, and people naturally respond to that presence. Whether you call it personal magnetism, charisma, or psychological authority, the underlying principle remains the same. Conviction is contagious. The direct flash method might sound mysterious, and parts of it definitely belong to an older era of psychology, but hidden inside the strange language is a powerful insight. Confidence isn't just something you feel, it's something you practice. The more you train your mind to speak with certainty, the more your presence changes. And when your presence changes, the way people respond to you changes too. So the real lesson isn't about controlling others, it's about mastering your own mind. Because the strongest influence in any room usually belongs to the person who believes in their words the most.